Hello and welcome back to HCS Weekly.
I thought, yo, this is my life. I have to go pro in Halo.
In my head, thought that was more efficient, and I guess I was right.
He was like the god. We would have to 2v1 like just to beat this guy. Like
I don't know, man. I mean, reach in. You're like, oh, let's see you guys later.
A lot of Halo in my life, man. It's been a fun journey.
I love it. Hello and welcome back to HCS Weekly, your weekly destination for all things HCS. And yes, I'm your host, ShyWay. We are back once again. It's been a while, guys. It's been, like 2 weeks since we've had an episode of HCS Weekly, maybe a little bit more than that. Of course, we were gone. We had Atlantic City. We had Halo Classic, an amazing event. I hope you guys got a chance to tune in. Probably one of the most stacked rosters or like stacked, series of teams that we've ever had for Halo 3 ever since its comeback, at least. Having, Lux coming out of nowhere and just winning the championship was pretty amazing as well. And of course, we're going to have a chat with Goofy a little bit later today, the perfect person to talk to, just coming off of that hot win. We also had some Halo 5. We had some Halo CE. So just Halo everywhere, depending on, no matter what kind of Halo fan you are, there was something good in there for you. And of course, we're going to chat about all of that today. We've got our news, we got our trick jumps, we got plenty to get to. Of course, we also have our giveaway, our HCS Grassroots BR skin and nameplate. All you got to do to enter the contest is enter !Grassroots in the chat. We give away the nameplate and BR skin every single week, guys. So if you missed your chance this week, and come back next week for your opportunity to do so. Let's jump right into the news with MattyRums from DuCombo.com. How you been, Matty?
Hey, I've been all right. How about you?
Good, man. I saw you at the event. You managed to tune in, take a couple photos. You were keeping track of the games as they went down. How was that for you?
Friday and Saturday were tiring. I was running around the open bracket area, back and forth, and then trying to get Halo 5 in there, Halo CE in the other room. So I was just running around. Right,
you had to go to separate rooms. They had the main place for H3, and then you have to go across a hall, and there's like a separate conference room for CE and 5, right?
Yeah, but it was a good time. I had a great time. It's good seeing everybody.
Yeah. Hello.
Goofy, what's up, man? I hear you in the background. Thank you, man, for tuning in. We are currently on the show. You will be brought on very soon. Sorry, guys. Goofy just had to join in last second here. Goofy, I'm going to ask you to mute your mic just for a second. We're going to run through the news. We're going to show a trick jump, and then I'm going to have you on. We're going to chat for the rest of the show. Sound good? Cool. All right. He's already muted.
Yeah,
I see you in the pro. We got it. All right.
Awesome.
Just making sure. Let's get right into the news then. Matty, of course, do we have any big news stories apart from AC? Is there anything new that's happened in the time between?
There's a few things. There's a playlist update like usual, but it only affected Halo 4 Social Slayer. They just changed like the maps that are going to be used. The refresh maps are going to be used for Infinity Slayer and Team Slayer. And then the legendary map variants are going to be used for Legendary Slayer. And to be honest, I don't play a lot of Halo 4, so I don't know what that is.
What is Legendary Slayer and Legendary map variant? All of this is like...
there's a maps that are listed, but...
Infinity Slayer. I remember that's like the standard Slayer, right? This is when they introduced the concept of the Infinity ship being like... it's like what's it called? It's like a sequel... It's not real life. It's like a virtual, like battle simulation. Thank you, yeah. Jesus. That's being created. That they pit the teams up against each other, so nobody's actually dying, and then you have this like freedom to use all these different types of Spartans and whatever. This is their excuse for the loadouts and stuff too. But anyway, good to see that Halo 4 is getting updates, and hopefully there's a community of people playing some Halo 4. I heard Halo 4 was actually the one game on MCC that kind of got the best port treatment, like it worked the best out of the gate versus the other titles. But
yeah, I guess I could see that, it being the newest wouldn't be that difficult to move over.
Right. Of course, we have a MCC developer update as well, so stuff across the board, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't list too much new information. It just said that they received a ton of feedback from the Fireflight. They fixed a handful of the bugs that were reported, but they're still investigating some. There's a full list over on Waypoint. I didn't want to list all of them.
Okay.
And then they also mentioned that the PvP flight for Xbox is currently at the Ring 0 testing. Remember they listed that it's like Rings 0 through 4.
Okay, so it's at the very start of the testing.
Yeah, it's still at the,
Internal testing for only feedback and stability checks so far. Once a branch build is identified, we'll be able to move forward towards flighting. Okay, well, progress, right? We're making some progress.
And then there's like interviews on there too with some technical stuff, but I wasn't even gonna try to explain it.
Right. Okay, so we've got Fireflight being tested. We've had some campaign testing, and now we finally get what we've all been waiting for: PvP testing, and hopefully they can get through this process kind of quick, and we start to get it towards sometime in the fall in the holidays.
Yeah, hopefully.
Because I don't know if you're feeling it, but AC was a ton of fun. But immediately after AC, it was like just this Halo drought. All of a sudden, we didn't get any announcement on what's coming up next. I know that you've been tweeting like day 6 without an announcement on.
I'm just putting like random like 600 days, 640 whatever.
Yeah, so it is a little upset, like a little. I don't want to say like depressing, but it's kind of like it was such a high with that event, and then damn silence. Immediately back to kind of not really sure what's going on next. Yeah, so that's good to see that there's some progress being made there. We have Europa Halo calls it quits. What's that?
Europa Halo.
So just a quits. Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of unfortunate news here, what do we got?
No more.
Yeah.
I believe his name is Kalen.
Okay.
I'm butchering that, but the guy who runs Europa Halo had a stream saying that Europa Halo will be no more. He said he's pretty much lost all motivation for it and is doesn't have the time to put into it anymore.
Yeah.
He mentioned they have no plans to come back for Infinite, but they recently started the Europa Halo Wars 2 series. Okay. He said that's still going on. It's being run by a guy named Metalizer. And then with the ending of Europa Halo, Splinter, which was another community tournament organizer, kind of revived, and they actually put on a Halo Reach tournament the other day. I think there's only like 4 teams entered, but they've come back, I guess, if you want to say, Splinter. for European Halo.
Okay, and something that'll hopefully continue and be more prominent when we do get this Reach launch. You're saying they're already trying to play some Halo Reach, probably 30 FPS, Xbox 360 style, which is not ideal. But it's once again, it's something. Now, the upsetting thing about that is Europa Halo is an HCS Grassroots partner. If they call it quits, I'm not really sure what that means for Grassroots.
He said that they removed themselves. So
oh wow. So and that brings me the same type of question about Saiyan, which I'm not sure if you guys heard the news about Saiyan. It looks like it's totally understandable, but I mean, he's been trying to compete and be prominent in Halo 5, and we're not really sure what's going on with the future of Halo 5. So I think for the moment, he's focusing more on Apex. His focus.
That was interesting too. It kind of confused me because it said that his content will still be Halo based.
Really?
So I think what I took out of it was maybe his YouTube content will be Halo, but his streams will be him playing Apex.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but that's what I took from it.
Yeah, because I mean, of course, one of the leaders, especially on the Halo 5 side of the community, it would be unfortunate to have him gone completely. So maybe I'll grab him. We can get a breakdown or something with ShyWay and Saiyan, or I don't know. We'll figure some way to keep Saiyan around. We got Tashi teasing PC competition. This is exciting. Tell me about this.
Yeah, so aside from all the drought and sadness, in the latest Halo community update, at the bottom there's a Q&A section, and someone asked about competitive Halo moving to PC. Mm-hmm. And in Tashi's response, he said that they'll be looking for opportunities to run events to test the platform and take feedback once it releases on PC.
Right.
So we all kind of saw it coming, but now I guess that there's like a confirmation. Yeah. But he also mentioned that on November 5th, I guess that's the 5-year anniversary of HCS.
Right, that's a big day.
They'll be publishing a post on Waypoint with information about the future of Halo esports.
Damn. So November 5th, mark that on your calendar right there. That's kind of the next big announcement notice that we've got there. Hopefully we're getting something earlier in regards to the DreamHack tease that we had, right? Because that's probably taking place November, maybe latest early December. So we would have to hear something about that earlier than
DreamHack Atlanta is November 14th.
Right. There you go. So. Yeah. So we would need to hear about that one ASAP. So hopefully that's still something that's like in the pipeline, something to look forward to. But cool. Yeah. I mean, at this point, it seems like it has to happen. PC competition just needs to happen. I mean, there's the Halo scene has been on console forever. Most people have been playing gamepad forever, and I understand that connection, with that experience. But the only way that I see this, Halo blowing up and succeeding in the way that it needs to is opening up the potential for PC, competition involving the mouse and keyboard a little bit there. Way larger audience can start to play the game. We also have tournament results as well. Of course, we had Halo Classic. Give me the rundown.
Yeah, so the Halo CE 2v2 from Halo Classic, if anyone doesn't know yet, Patch and Legend took first place. They were also the Beach Land champions. Second place went
Dominating.
Second place went to McDick and Reaper, and third place was a tie between Kujar and D-Man and Meg and Ozzy.
Okay, I don't know how you read that one as Huzzy.
No, Ozzy. I just know they
Ozzy.
call him it. I don't think anyone
Okay.
likes to pronounce it, so they just say Ozzy.
Okay. I was gonna say
Yeah.
you came up with some pronunciation for that I didn't read that way. We had the Halo 5 2v2 as well.
Yeah, first place for that went to Renegade and Shotzi. Second place was Sane and Neptune, and third went to Pyretic and Denoxide.
Yeah, crazy series. Thankful I got the chance to cast that all the way 14 games. It was a very long series. The only unfortunate thing about it was switching it off a main broadcast, putting it onto Bravo was a lot of kind of hard to organize timing wise because we had grand finals for Halo 3. But apart from that, teardown setup, the actual series itself was super intense. Went 14 games. Highly recommend you guys at least check it out in the past broadcast, but I'm sure it'll be on YouTube at some point soon. And then Halo 3, the main star of the show here, the 4v4 and the FFA.
Yeah, so first place went to Lux Gaming with Goofy, Ryanu, Gilkey, and Gabriel. Second place was Gold Members, which sniped down Frosty, Eco, and Pistola. And then third, for the first time in a long time, was Tox Gaming, Snakebite, Lethal, ABG,
Right.
and Royal 2.
So something pretty interesting to talk about, and something I want to talk to Goofy about a little bit later as well. Lux never had a chance to go up against Tox Gaming, which is something that I'm sure they hope to be able to do. It's like, almost doesn't feel like the true win unless you get to take out the dominant squad. So unfortunate seeing Tox hit that third place, or not. I mean, unfortunate for them, but I guess as far as a viewer goes, that's pretty exciting, right? It mixes things up. You get a whole new time.
I looked up on, I think it was Esportspedia. It was Lethal's first placing outside of top 2 since like July 2015,
which is ridiculous because he was dominant on EG and then from EG over to what, like CLG Optic, Tox. Crazy. So yeah, somebody just, or Lux and Gold Members just took out his win streak right there. We also have Blam Gaming, unless I skipped something, or they had the FFA as well.
Oh yeah,
you covered. Straight Sick won that. And then we have Blam Gaming Halo Series Preliminary number 3.
Yep. So their Halo series is continuing on. I think number 4 is next week, I believe. Goofy might be able to add to that. But first place went to Scariotic and Vemzy. Second went to Stress and Complexion. And third went to Nikolai and B-Vens.
Awesome. So nice to see that we have, some more competitions going on the side there, especially Blam Gaming coming in, doing some Halo 5 2v2s, which have gotten pretty exciting off of AC. So good thing to tune into there. We have upcoming tournaments as well, keeping the tournaments going. What do we got?
This Saturday, September 21st, is SWAT Nation's Femme Fatale Halo 5 2v2 redo.
Nice. Redo.
The first one, there's a little bit of controversy with some players not being able to, prove themselves that they were female. Yeah. So it was a mess. They paid out the teams, but they agreed to do a second one.
Kudos to SWAT Nation for continuing to, to try again, despite some of the, the difficulties, the challenges that come up with these types of situations. But we want, to have competition for the female audience. So it's great that it's happening still.
And then Sunday, the 22nd, SWAT Nation is having a second tournament, which is called SWATarino Cappuccino. Okay. And I believe it's their first Halo 5 free-for-all SWAT tournament.
Free-for-all SWAT tournament?
Yep.
I have no idea what that would look like. That sounds like mayhem.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds wild.
People dying. I don't know how they're going to spectate it because people can be dying left and right.
Right. I think your life would be like a 20, 30 seconds max. So I don't know. It'd be pretty interesting to check out.
And then next Tuesday, September 24th. Oh, yeah. I was right. Is the fourth preliminary tournament for the Blam Gaming Halo series.
Awesome.
That's also a Halo 5 2v2.
Right. So despite AC being done, it does feel like a bit of a drought as far as Halo goes. We have some things to look forward to. We have these events coming up in the immediate future. We also have November 5th, the date that you guys got to mark on your calendar here. It looks like that's the next big announcement as far as Halo's esports future. And I think we're getting down to the wire. We're getting down to the end of the holidays. We hopefully start to hear a little bit more about Halo Infinite, not just Reach and MCC. I want the big guns coming out. So hopefully we can get something exciting. Matty, thank you for joining me once again for the news, and looking forward to chatting next week. Yeah, no problem, dude.
See you.
All right, that covers the news. We're going to jump right into our trick jump segment with ClearlyMe. Let's see what he's got for us this week. How's it going? Clearly,
It's going pretty good, man. Hopefully my camera doesn't freeze this week.
you're good for now. Don't jinx it, man. I saw you walk away for a second. We were closing out news, and I'm like, oh my god, he's not there in the camera. I'm gonna have to just vamp for 10 seconds. Some of you came back right in time, but let's take a look at the jump and get to it, and then we can get your commentary and stuff. We don't have to worry about the camera work.
Yeah. Well, I got
we
two
got?
today. This
Okay.
one, obviously, really illegal to do in a professional atmosphere, but you can crouch repeatedly into the lift on construct, and you can sit on the very bottom of it.
Wait, you're saying you can't do this in competitive?
Well, you don't. Well, you don't want to, at least if you're competing. You know,
Right,
if
you're just out of the field of play.
Yeah, yeah. If you're going for money, yeah, this isn't a legal move, but you can get under the map, which is kind of a cool little trick.
Oh my
I
God.
released a whole tutorial for this
Yeah.
on my Twitter and on my YouTube, which is at MCC Trick Jumps. But yeah, you crouch repeatedly into the lift, and it kind of pulls you to the bottom there. And if you crouch repeatedly on that center circle, eventually your body will fall through, and you'll get to the bottom. And no
Can
one
you go
shoot
up
at
the
you.
other lift?
You can actually go back up the lift. If you
Okay.
stand there and you jump repeatedly, if you get lucky, you can actually get back up. But
Oh.
that's difficult because there's actually another circle below you. So if you keep jumping, there's a chance that it'll actually pull you even lower,
Oh my
and then
god.
you can't get out. Yeah, so then you're stuck forever.
Okay. So
But it's a neat little trick. It's fun to do. I mean, if you're just messing around in social or something, I don't see the harm. But
right, what's a scenario where this would just be like incredible? Like, is there an oddball social game type
Well,
where you
know,
can
if
just
you're,
grab it?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know.
Because
if
that
there
would
is
be
an oddball
ridiculous.
social.
Like, you win the
Yeah.
game. Yeah.
For sure. But I mean, like, if you're an HLG enthusiast, obviously this would be a good move to have up your sleeve.
Sure.
You know? Maybe you're the last person. It's one versus four. You have the lead. You want to do something fun to
All right.
you
Well,
know, close out the game. I guess I don't know.
so clearly
yeah.
breaking the game here. What else you got for me?
I have a jump on Guardian, which actually I found not too long ago. So I was trying to find a different way up to Chandelier, and I found a kind of a fun way, dangerous way to get up to Chandelier. But it's a
Okay.
double grenade lift manipulation.
Holy.
Right up there.
Okay. Well, this one is
Yeah.
sick, but I
Oh.
don't see how you would set it up conveniently though, because then you're
No, absolutely not. But yeah, if you stand up against that wedge there and you throw a grenade straight up at the lift, you run over there and you stand above the lift for about half a second to a second, depending. Throw another grenade down, and they line up perfectly so that when you hit the lift, you're far enough away from the double explosion that it doesn't kill you, but
Oh
it
my
gives you extra lift. And it pulls you up to Chandelier.
That's incredible. Imagine making a play like that, picking up an oddball or something in a
It
tournament.
would be
I mean,
incredible, but highly unlikely.
yeah.
Yeah,
Too much
no.
setup time. You're on top mid. You're gonna get melted in a second.
Yeah, this is some super advanced strats, but
Yeah.
not worth it entirely. But yeah, I mean, I guess worth a try if you have top mid open for you for whatever weird reason for that long. Anyway,
Yeah.
odds are slim, but
All right. Well, very cool stuff, and I'm sure there are some people who would really enjoy adding this to their gameplay. Some cool HLG spots and crazy nade tricks. How can they get started? Could they contact you? What's the best way to learn some of these jumps?
so that would be on my Twitter mainly. That's where I'm
Okay.
mainly posting. I do post to YouTube as well, just not everything. But that's going to be Twitter at MCC Trick Jumps and YouTube at MCC Trick Jumps. So I post tutorials and random clips, and yeah. So if you want
Awesome.
to see what I'm all about, go check it out.
Sweet. I heard you're doing a little bit of movement coaching as well. Are you trying to get into that too? I haven't really heard of
Yeah.
that role yet. You're trying to like help teams move more effectively on the map. That's kind of a cool
Mhm.
niche that you're going for.
Well, yeah, I mean, not so much the double grenade trick that like I just
Right.
showed
Something
you, but,
practical.
obviously more practical stuff. And
Like backwards S1 to S2 that Shelly did the other day, which was ridiculous when he was killing a player.
yeah, and actually, I just did a tutorial on that the other day, and I did it twice. I did it backwards twice in a row at the beginning of the tutorial as kind of a
Crazy.
tribute. But I've been working on weapon launches and grenade lineups, things of that nature that would also be useful as far as being a movement coach, for lack of a better term.
Sure.
But yeah, just kind of a phrase I'm trying to coin, I guess. Now there's other people commenting on my recent post,
Right.
trying to become a movement coach as well. other people who are knowledgeable, maybe not just Halo 3, but Halo 5 as well.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that I know that I haven't shown the public, not on purpose. I just haven't gotten around to it. But
Sure.
things that could ultimately be kept secret that I could teach a team.
Okay.
And, change the way the game is played, more or less.
That sounds pretty incredible, man. I love the grind you're doing, the dedication, and I hope you keep it up. Of course, guys, if you want to get involved, you want to learn some trick jumps and just join this, MCC Trick Jumps on Twitter is the best place to go. And you can hook up with ClearlyMe and get some jumps going. Thank you, Clearly, so much for joining me, and looking forward to seeing what you have in store in the future of Halo here.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
No problem. All right, well, that closes our news and our trick jump for the day, and I'm excited to bring on the champion from our last event, AC, Goofy of Lux Gaming. Welcome him to the show. Goofy, how's it going?
How you doing? Doing great, man. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Now, I know it's been like a week since the event, but are you still on Cloud 9, man? How you feeling?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I definitely am still extremely happy and just more so proud of the tournament and how everything played out. And I'm definitely still riding that wave for sure.
I mean, so it's not even just the event. You also got second place in FFA as well. Like you killed it throughout. Do you expect to have like such incredible performance in every category? And we have some of the tweets here.
Yeah, so I actually have never been a huge FFA player. That's not to say I haven't warmed up and played FFAs every now and then. Yeah. But so I was definitely really happy that I got second place in the free for all and kind of got a little side placing, but the main thing for me was definitely that 4v4 victory. So that like outweighed the FFA by far. But it was definitely a cool, little feat that I also got second in the free for all. So I was happy with it.
Hell yeah. And I mean, I'd love to get into it. I do want to know though, did you celebrate at all? Like how was the post game celebration? Did you gamble? I know everybody was going over to Hard Rock and gambling. I saw Gabriel there. He got all this new tournament winnings. Did you do any of that?
Definitely. The whole team, I don't want to get into details, but the whole team did celebrate. We went out Sunday night. We were at the Hard Rock. We'll just keep it short. We had a good night. It was a great night for sure. Yeah.
What's your favorite game to go to?
The casino?
Yeah.
I'm more of a blackjack / roulette guy. But if I had to pick one and I was at the casino for a few hours, I'd probably just stick to blackjack. Yeah. But I know like more skillful games like poker and such. Ryan Noob is a big advocate for poker. He plays it all the time. Yeah, he's really into. Yeah, he's very like, you know how he is. So he loves playing poker. But me and Gab and Gilkey, we just stuck to some of the more, fun kind of games like roulette and blackjack.
Yeah, which are kind of easier to go. I could see Ryan Noob with the poker face though. He's like so laser focused, so competitive. Like he would make it work. I wasn't a huge fan of like the machines though. I'm not used to the casino environment when you have these like machines with the flashing lights and they're just advertising like spend your money here and like get addicted. It's like hypnosis.
Oh, it's a trap. 1,000%.
It's crazy, dude. Like like I'd rather just play Halo, man. I'm already addicted to my own video games. Yeah, it was nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, nice to see that you had some fun. Of course, you won the event. You could have a good time. Now, before we get into all those details and whatnot, what I usually do is I kind of go through your Twitter a little bit. I try to find some stuff that you've been up to. I noticed something really cool actually on your Twitter is that you've not just been gaming, you've been casting as well. You've been part of Blam Gaming recently, which I believe we have a tweet for that right there. Tell me a bit about this. What's Blam Gaming up to? Have you been getting into commentary?
Yeah, so I'll try to summarize. Pretty much, Blam Gaming is a gaming platform, I guess you can call it. They're tournament organizers, and they're currently strictly online, and they're currently strictly Halo 5. So every so often, and I say that because I don't know the spread for the dates, but I would say about 2 weeks apart, they've been hosting 2v2 Halo 5 tournaments that are free to enter for anybody, they're called preliminary tournaments. All right, so there's 4 preliminary tournaments run by Blam Gaming. 3 of them have already occurred, and the winner from each of the 3 gets a guaranteed spot in their Blam Gaming finale tournament. And that's gonna be, I have the date on me. It's in October. It's on October 20th is the Blam Gaming finale. So there is one more preliminary tournament left again, that's 2v2 Halo 5 online tournament, and that last preliminary tournament is September 24th. So it's coming up here in about a week. So pretty much the four winners from each preliminary tournament will punch their ticket to the grand finale, which will be for $1,000. So you can really rack up some money there.
Yeah.
And also, not only do the four winners of the preliminaries get a spot to the grand finale, but there's also four of like the runner-ups, I guess you could say, or the leader in points from each tournament will also get a spot. So there's going to be 8 teams, and don't quote me for sure, but I'm fairly certain there will be 8 teams in the grand finale, and it's going to be for $1,000. So you can never. It's always good to have tournaments going on for Halo, especially in this interim period where we're kind of trying to fill in the gaps until we get some more news. And obviously, speaking for myself, I'm definitely hopeful for Halo in general. It's such a big game, such a big community. It has so much potential that it's bound to get back to and even surpass where it's been in the past. And I'm very confident in that. But to touch more on the commentary side of things, I have been getting into commentating. And I surprised myself, honestly. I was watching the rebroadcast, and I was reading some feedback in the comments on Twitch, some of the messages I was getting. Excuse me. And people really seem to enjoy my commentary, and I seem to have a knack for it. So I definitely want to keep on doing it, because you never know in the future how things are going to pan out. Obviously, you can only be a competitive gamer for so long. I definitely see myself competing and kind of going down that path for as long as I can. But if the opportunity presents itself and I can kind of transition into something like that, that would be very, very cool to me. So I want to keep all my avenues open and kind of see where it goes. But as of right now, I'm just doing it because I enjoy it.
That's awesome, man. I totally respect that too. And just, understanding that you can only be a competitor for so long, and, being able to transition to the next thing. So is commentary, like, I guess that's one of those avenues, but do you want to always kind of be associated with Halo and gaming in your career? Is that kind of what you decided? Like, of course, competition is the main thing right now. I know that when I talked to Roy and Lunchbox, for example, once they finished competition, they just kind of left gaming. They wanted to do their own thing in their own line of work. Do you see yourself always sticking with it?
So in a perfect world, if you asked me to pick my own destiny, I would love for gaming to be a part of my life forever, to be honest with you. A lot of people kind of, I don't want to say get forced out of the position they're in because of team changes or real life stuff, or there's a lot of outside factors that can change your plan, I guess. But I'm realistic enough to understand that, like we just spoke about, competitive and being at the top is not something that's going to last forever. Obviously, you can make a lot of money in esports these days and gaming in general. But I love the community. I love the vibes in gaming. So I always want that to be a part of my life and to kind of continue down that path.
That's awesome. Well, I hope to see you commentating more. I've actually been talking to Luis or Luis. I'm not sure 100%, but about Blame Gaming, and I was hoping that I could maybe jump in a couple too. So maybe we'll get a chance to try some casting together.
Oh, that would be sweet, man. That'd be an honor.
Oh, no, it'd be awesome, dude. I love that he's doing it, though, that he's still having some Halo 5 2v2 events. Like, it would be awesome if we could do it for Halo 3 as well, but it's just without the theater mode, it's just not, convenient, or the observer mode. But just having something, like you said, keeping Halo going, keeping the energy going until it does bounce back, because it absolutely can bounce back. Like, it's crazy.
It will.
The presence that Halo has, like Master Chief, if you go to, like, I went to Fan Expo, which is basically like a Comic-Con, but in Toronto. And Master Chief is everywhere. Like they put him in, like, with Star Wars and these other massive franchises, anime. They throw in the Chief. Like he's an icon of popular culture.
Oh, still. Yeah, Halo and Master Chief is like Microsoft's baby. So it's not going anywhere. It's gonna be around, especially with Infinite dropping and the next generation consoles dropping. It's obviously I can't say with 100% certainty, but as close as you can get to 100 is how I feel about it. I think it's gonna come back with a vengeance, and it's gonna just blow up in a great way. So yeah, I'm excited and I'm hopeful. Obviously, it sucks because right now we are in that interim period and we're kind of trying to fill in the gaps, like I was saying before. But I think there's plenty of avenues that can still be gone. That you can still go down, especially with these HCS grassroots tournaments, some of these online events, and even for me, just streaming. Like I've been doing a lot of streaming lately. And I've been, enjoying Halo in other ways as well. And just to touch back on the Blam Gaming stuff, it's not just, just to quickly touch on it, it's not just some random rinky-dink online tournaments. The production is really on point.
Yeah.
If you want, go to my Twitter and check out my feed, and you'll see some of the highlight videos that they've made. So it's there's people really stepping up right now, and I think it'll pay off for them. And speaking for Halo, I like I said, for the 10th time, I'm super hopeful.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand the unattractive aspect of Halo right now because it's at a lower point. People are moving on to other games, but at the same time, that's kind of an opportunity for people. If you want to get into Halo, this is kind of a good moment to do so. It's kind of a blue ocean. You have an open opportunity to start your own project, and yes, it's a smaller community, but it also means that your position in there can become very valuable very quickly, potentially as well. So, try to take advantage of, even when it looks rough, you can kind of try to take advantage of that opportunity. Yeah. The other thing I noticed on your Twitter, I'm not sure if you're actually using it. A lot of pro players have been getting them in the mail, but we got a Scuff Prestige controller. I'm a big fan of controllers.
Oh, baby.
A huge nerd. I got my own Scuff Prestige as well. I got there we go. I got the blue one.
There we go. The red and blue, baby. Halo colors.
Yeah, exactly. But what do you think of the controller? Are you using it? Do you have like a specific way that you play? Or tell me about it.
So I definitely use it. I've been using a Scuff controller for as long as I can remember.
You're not going to sell them to me here.
Yeah. Oh, PS, use code Goofy for 5% off your Scuff. No, but yeah, I've been a big advocate for Scuff for a multitude of years. The Scuff Prestige for sure is a controller. As soon as I held it and I kind of pressed the bumpers and moved the joysticks around, I knew it was a good controller. Just because, and I'll kind of hold on to it, but just because. I don't know. I had some problems with the Scuff what was it? The Infinity controller, Scuff Infinite. Yeah, the Infinity one. With me, I guess the way because I play bumper jumper in Halo, so I really get down and dirty on these joysticks. Like I really kind of press them hard and use them a lot. So on some of the older Scuffs, I would have trouble with the bumpers kind of getting loose, or the bumpers getting mashed in a little bit, so I'd have to press it hard. But with the Scuff Prestige, that's not the case. I think they really improved the quality of the material that they're using. And in response to how I use the controller, I claw. So I've never needed, like, you'll see, like, I took out all of the paddles, right? So there's no more paddles there. So for me, it's just, all I need is just a good controller that's sturdy, and that, I like having some grips on it. So it has grips on the back. The joysticks have grip on them. So, I mean, it's definitely a great controller, and I would recommend it for sure.
Yeah. And what you were referencing about the bumpers, though, I completely agree. Like, I was looking around trying to see if I had one like near me, but they were Generation 2 controllers, the older Scuff controllers. They had different bumper design, and they break easily. The plastic there kind of like breaks off. The button will still work, but the casing will fall off.
Exactly.
So you got to put a piece of tape there, and it's inconvenient. Yeah. On top of that, you have the face plate. You can pull that off now, and then you change the sticks a little more easily than you did in the past, where you had to like take the little key thing and like unravel it. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Good to see that you're running that. And then you said you're clawing. So I personally think that's kind of the way to go with this one, because these are good, they work, but they also take up a lot of space. It changes the way that holding the controller feels. So you get a good grab on it with the.
And it's crazy because going back to my start in Halo 3 back in like 2009, when I really started grinding the game, in 2010 and stuff, I actually never clawed. I always I did like a semi-claw where I held a controller normally, but like I would still move my index finger down sometimes.
Do you always have two fingers on bumper?
No, sorry. It was like this. So I would still I would really do it, like, and it was comfortable to me at the time. But then Halo 5 came out, and I was grinding that game in the beginning with my team at the time. And Halo 5, and I was never going to use paddles. It was out of the question for me. I couldn't get comfortable with it. Okay. So Halo 5 forced me to start playing claw. And being that deep into my Halo career and making such a drastic change, like just thinking back about it, it definitely seemed like it would have been hard, and it was hard. And then once Halo 5 ended and we went back to Halo 3, it was kind of weird clawing in Halo 3 because I never did it before. But I don't know why I even brought the story up, but it's funny because it was like it went full circle and ended up winning a tournament after completely changing the way I hold the controller. So it's great.
I think that's actually an important point. It's like, a lot of people, that's kind of the difference between them getting to the next level and not quite getting there is whether or not they're willing to learn paddles or learn claw to kind of, mitigate some of these issues. Like Halo 5 kind of forces you to do it because there's so much to work with. Halo 3, maybe not as necessary, but the process that you went through learning that, I'm sure, is really great in kind of advancing your gameplay in every other game, right? You kind of retrain the way you play. It also kind of changes the position of your thumb, I find, on the stick. Right. It feels like lower or something. So like that whole process it's kind of a good learning experience, and I think kind of trains your brain to apply itself, better in other situations as well. So
I'd say so.
Yeah. Okay, so what I want to do is take a trip down memory lane here. We're going to talk a bit about your Halo career because today you're Halo Classic champion alongside Ryan Noob, Gabriel Gilkey. You're not dropping. Did you drop a series? I don't think you dropped a series.
We did not drop a series.
Dude, that's crazy. So in one of the most stacked events I think we've seen since the return of Halo 3, and you've been a prominent member of Halo esports for a long time now, but where did it all begin for you? How did you first get into Halo?
So, it obviously, just like everyone else, it's a long story, so I'll try to keep it short, but I never played Halo 2. I never played matchmaking, the notorious game.
Didn't play it at all.
Favorite, no. Like, I mean, obviously, in the course now, looking back, I've played games here and there, but
sure,
in the years of Halo 2, I never played it, right?
Okay.
And I was never even that big in video games in general, to be honest. And when the Xbox 360 came out and Halo 3 came out, my older brother, he's 6 years older than me, and he's always been into esports and gaming as well. We got the Xbox, we got Halo 3, and we would just play matchmaking, like Social Slayer or Team Slayer, random game types. And I was always like really good at the game, and I had like a weird addiction to the game, like where I enjoyed
Everybody did.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I would come, and I was in school, so I would come home from school, and I would just get on the game. I would come home from school, get on the game every single day, and I was getting really good at it. And my older brother did, he's always been good at like doing research for random stuff. He found these tournaments, and he found out about MLG, and he told me, he's like, hey, their new season is gonna start. It was 2008 at the time. He was telling me about 2009. He's like, the first event's gonna be in Meadowlands. There's gonna be all these pro players there. You should really try to go. And me and him convinced my parents, and he had a chaperone, so he came with me. For like
he
the
did
first
everything.
Dude, he's the MVP for sure.
Yeah, he's 6 years older too, because he could drive you there. He could, get the parents on
exactly.
your side.
I was like,
How
what,
old were
14
you at the time? 14,
probably
okay.
14 or 15. Yeah.
Wow.
And we went to Meadowlands. It was my first ever tournament. I went with complete, just like me. There were nobody in the community or in the scene yet, and we actually made it to the last round in the AM bracket. My first tournament ever, which is at the time it was a pretty hard to do, to be honest, because back in 2009, 2008, 2009, even getting top 32, top 24 was like a big deal. And then after that tournament, long story short, I hopped around teams until I finally got on my pro team, a pro team at the end of 2009. And the rest was history. Like my first ever tournament was Meadowlands 2009 MLG, and I never missed a tournament up until like Halo 2 anniversary,
Really?
where I started getting into my college courses, some of my upper level courses, and I had a couple exams on a day that a tournament was, so I couldn't go, and that led to like a bunch of other complications down the road. So up until like sometime in Halo 2 anniversary, I never missed a tournament. And then after that, obviously there was, Halo 5 came around, and I was in and out of that game too, just because I was trying to start my career and kind of finishing up school still. And now I'm finally at a point in my life where, stuff has steadied off, and I'm in a routine now. I do go to work full time. I work 40 hours a week. Like I have an actual career job, but it allows me to have a good routine. So, I wake up in the morning like 6 a.m. By the time I'm home and done with the gym, it's like 6:30 p.m. And then I'll just get on Halo and start streaming for a couple hours every day. So it's been pretty consistent for the past month or so, and I hope to continue it down the road. And just keep building my brand, keep building my following and my supporters. And who knows? Maybe by the time Infinite comes out, I can have like a big stream, or maybe I'll get into YouTube videos. And I really want to do all this stuff. And I've been, committed to it recently, and I've been very good about my motivation. But I don't know about you; it's really easy to lose motivation sometimes.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I think for me, it's more so training myself to be disciplined rather than motivated, because motivation comes and goes, but discipline can stay forever. So I just got to kind of keep that mindset and keep moving forward in that direction. Hopefully, I can do what I dream of doing, which is just kind of staying in esports and kind of staying involved with gaming.
Dude, word. That was very well said. So I actually just thought you were going to give me like, how did you get into Halo? And then we go through your history, but you gave me the whole thing, which was great though, which I'm going to dive into like specific things there as well, as to what you talked about. But incredible, just kind of how disciplined, like if that's your regular schedule, getting up at like 6 a.m., doing your full-time job, going to the gym and grinding Halo, like that's pretty incredible that you have that kind of discipline. And that's the big thing that you said, is just being disciplined over motivation. Motivation wanes. It's it's back and forth. It's hard to stay motivated. I struggle with this ever since AC, man. I've been like all over the place. My energy levels, like in AC, I'm like 100%. I'm loving it, and then it's done, and now Halo's back to just nothing's going on, exactly, and I'm like, shit. What am I doing with my life now? Yeah, exactly. So just being disciplined, working hard, and accomplishing your those little goals every single day, so that you can build up those motivation levels and give your best work when you need to. You're not always kind of hard on yourself. So really great that you kind of already mastering that, and you're still a young guy. You're still 25, man. You're working on it. Yeah. But that's important that you're doing that now.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm going to go back a little bit, because of course, so you started in MLG Meadowlands. I have your teams here too. You're in Hot Pursuit.
Oh baby, that's a throwback.
Team. Yeah. And then so I got this quickly improved from there. You joined Severance for a 19th place finish at Columbus, and then you played on End Result, landing 21st at Dallas, and then you broke into the top 16 for the first time on a team called Surprise. We're in top 16. Anyway, I was trying to make a stupid joke. At MLG Anaheim, and then you placed 13th there. So 13th at Anaheim, 13th again in Orlando. And then in 2010, this is the one thing I wanted to highlight, was things really started to change for the better. It was when you, Break, Cypher, and Nightmare formed a team called Warriors, which later popped off. So how did Warriors come together? Tell me a bit about that team. And in the background, what we're going to show is Triggers Down versus Warriors at Columbus, where you guys had so this is just the game.
What an epic game.
Oh, 11. We'll show the clip.
Oh
Don't
my
worry.
God, y'all aren't even ready. Even if you've already seen it, you're still not ready.
Yeah, even how it came together, and then we can get into this match.
I'll be quite honest with you. I don't remember the exact details of how everything panned out and how that team formed. But I do remember Cypher was a big name player at the time. He had gotten 3rd place, I believe, that same season. I think he was on BTH with the. And again, it is rusty. It's been so long, but Cypher was definitely that big ticket player for us. That once we picked up, people on this in the top 8 teams even started noticing the other players, like, who's Cypher teaming with? Oh, Goofy, Break, all these players, and Monster it was, right? Goofy, it was Break, Monster, and Cypher, correct?
So in this game specifically, that's where you started. Yeah. So it was Break, Monster, Cypher. Break, Nightmare, and Cypher.
Break, Nightmare, and Cypher. And Nightmare and Cypher were always good friends. And Nightmare really wanted to team with us. So he got Cypher to play with us, and we scrimmed, and we were really good. And we formed that initial Warriors team, and we ended up getting top 12 at our first event together. And funny story is, at that tournament, we played against Ryan Noob's team, right? So, and they were actually up 5-3 on us in the series, and we came back and beat them game 11 to get top 12. So Ryan Noob's team was up on us in the series 5-3, and then we came back and beat them 6-5, and we got top 12, and then we lost to some good team for top 8. So following that tournament, myself and Break wanted to, take a next step, and we wanted to make a team change that would really elevate our team. And we recruited Nocturnal Colonel, who was also a very, well-known player at the time that people around the community knew was a very solid and talented player. So we picked him up, and we needed a 4th. And I contacted Ryan Noob, and we had just played each other at the last tournament, so we had that kind of mutual respect, and we played as a team, me, Break, Nocturnal Colonel, and Ryan Noob, and we instantly clicked. We were playing matchmaking MLG playlists when at the time it was very populated and everyone played it. Pro players were always playing it. And we kept matching against parties of 4 that were really good players, and we kept beating them. And we were really excited. And, next thing, we made the team, and we showed up to this tournament, and we popped off. Long story short, we played so well. Look at that 50th. I just talked over it. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. We're going to play it with the full audio. We have it as a separate clip, so don't worry about it.
But yeah, and we had a great tournament. We played a bunch of good teams. We clutched it up so many times. Even this series against Triggers Down, we were down 5-3 in the series. So, we won game 9, won game 10, won game 11. It was a big battle. And then we played BTH for top 6 and went all the way to game 5, but lost to them. And then we beat Carbon and Constellation, which is Walshy, Nated, Best Man, and Defy, I think.
Damn.
We beat them for 5th place, in Conso. So people don't know that, actually. Our Constellation match went to game 5 as well, and it was actually kind of sweaty. And it was Walshy, Nated, Best Man, Defy, all these big. In 2010, these guys, even still, but at the time they were big dogs on the scene. Yeah. So we took them out for 5th place, so we ended the tournament on a happy note. Because most of the times when your tournament's over, you're coming off of a loss, so you're like, damn, like. But that time our tournament ended and we played our console match and got 5th, so we ended the tournament on a win.
Okay.
And yeah, it was just, man, that's to this day.
You were on the map from that day, dude.
Yeah,
forward,
yeah, for sure. Look at that.
Let's go.
Matador bold player, Goofy, Columbus 2010.
That's so sick. Yeah, there now I see it.
Yeah. So yeah, it was, to this day, it definitely was one of my favorite weekends of my whole life. Like, it was that I can't get the speaker tag back on. Hold on.
Yeah, we're gonna get. It's like a magnet thing. You got it. Yeah. You got it. You're good.
So to this day, that game 11 and hitting that snipe and hearing the crowd, like the whole dome stadium, like everyone going crazy. And I still remember, like, after the series, I went to the bathroom and there were so many random people like coming up to me like, dude, what the hell just happened?
Get to the washroom.
And I was just, like a little kid, like I was 16 at the time, and this was all like a dream to me, like legitimately it was like a dream come true. And yeah, it's definitely going to be one of my favorite memories in my entire life. I think it was just something that I'm going to cherish forever. And yeah, it was a great time.
So you, Rhino, Break, and Nocturnal Colonel, and all of this culminated into that one final moment, you with the sniper on Pit. Tony, let's roll the clip with audio. Check it out. Right. So, dude, the audience, man, it's so raw. It's like right in your face. You can hear everything, like the energy. And you hit way more snipes than that as well in the background. People were freaking out about you way earlier, but it was just ending the game with that final, like, quick shot, quick scope headshot. Man, yeah, just tell me about. I mean, you already kind of got into it, but just that feeling. Man,
to be honest, when I look back at the video, I'm such a jerk. I'm like, man, I wish I would have hit that 2-for-1 to end the game.
Right.
You know how right here, like, you'll see, keep the clip rolling right here. I pull out the sniper. I have OV.
Right.
And you had 2 guys like low key line up almost. So I hit one of them. They're both back down, and I was just in my bag. Like, I was in my zone. I hit that snipe. You don't even see a reaction out of me.
Oh, I know.
And honestly, what I'm doing right now is a horrible play. Like, the fact that I'm pushing up into cuts, just like wasting all my grenades, and I'm already I'm already weak right here. Like, I'm already, and there's 2 guys in there, so I probably would have died if my team didn't get the last kill. So, just looking back at it, I laugh about different situations that could have panned out, but I wouldn't want it any other way. Like, getting that crazy snipe, and then my teammate, like, you hear hysteria. Oh, they got me. I'm dead. Like, you hear him say that, and then we all just stand up and start screaming. And man, I'm still lost for words looking at it and realizing that happened. So it was freaking amazing.
It's a time we're all praying that we can get back as far as Halo goes. Like, even when you just said that moment where you were playing online multiplayer and everybody was playing matchmaking, you would match teams of 4 all the time, and you could kind of really test your skill up against them. You don't have to put together you probably also did the custom games, but just the fact that it was so populated, everybody was playing, it was just a totally different time. You're just getting match after match. That just sounds amazing. Like, when you say that, I'm reminiscing, For
sure. And I can get into specifics about, like, how, or, why that arrow is so successful, that I don't want to get into necessarily right now. And I am confident in the people that are working on the game and how it's going to progress in the future of Halo esports and all that stuff. But I think a big factor also at the time, I'll just kind of give one example, was the ranking system. So in Halo 2 and Halo 3, the ranking systems were so notorious and worked so well with the game. I think after Halo 3's ranking system, it kind of, I don't know. I think they were trying new things and new routes, and maybe in like on paper it seemed like it would work, or for other games it worked, but for Halo, I feel like it didn't really have that same appeal. So hopefully, I'm hopeful that in Halo Infinite, the ranking system will be rewarding, and it's going to be something that works for the players in the game. And that's just like a little side note I wanted to throw in case anybody is listening to me in Halo, please put a good ranking system
I
in
like
Infinite.
Yeah. Well, something that really incentivizes competition and that you come back and you play and you feel rewarded for the time that you're putting in, right?
Yeah, do you remember getting your 50? Like how amazing
I
it felt?
did it because I didn't get a 50. I was a scrub back in Halo 3 days. I played it socially, like I was playing BTB, Social Slayer, whatever.
Okay.
But I respect the achievement. So
Yeah, and man, it was just the best feeling when you were like a noob, or even if you weren't a noob, but you were like a new player and you're just grinding, and you have to go through all these tough players to finally get that 50. And it was a feeling like it was so rewarding. And I feel like since Halo 3, and especially in Halo 2, because like I said, I never played it, but I know a lot of the people I interact with and I've met through Halo. Obviously, everyone's played Halo 2 almost, so Halo 2's ranking system people loved so much, and Halo 3 I loved so much, and so did like a lot of people. I just think after Halo 3, the ranking system kind of dwindled a little bit, and I hope that it'll be something more rewarding in the future.
What do you think it is, as far as not even to get in a whole discussion about it, but you think of Halo 5's ranking system is still very competitive. You got different tiers, you've got champion for the top players, which I guess seems like that would be good, hypothetically speaking.
Yeah.
What do you think it is that didn't quite hit home? Is it too complex? Because like I like between Onyx and Champion, you get like 1,500, and you don't really know what you're looking at, and it goes like 1,535 and
it could
16.
be so many things, but if I
like,
had to kind of narrow it down, I don't know, because
should it just be
maybe it is. Maybe some people did like it. Maybe I'm just like a romanticizing.
No, a lot of people will tell you that the ranking system was like it's not just you for sure.
Okay, so if I had to point at something, I would just say the 1 through 50 ranking system. And again, I keep saying this because I kind of want to have something to cushion it with, but it's just maybe it's because I grew up with the ranking system, and so did all these other players that advocate for it. Because you don't really hear, like Shotzi and Frosty or any of these players necessarily complaining about it. It's more so like the older pros saying, "Man, bring back 1 through 50, bring back 1 through 50." So I don't know. I don't want to speak out of term necessarily, and I'm not just saying that. I genuinely I don't have a solid enough opinion or statements to back it up, but it's just a personal feeling for me that the 1 through 50 ranking system was very rewarding, and maybe you're right. Maybe it was too complex the way they did the champion and Onyx, and you never really knew, unless you were like in the champions, you never really knew what rank Onyx was what, or
maybe and multiple tiers through, as opposed to just being a number and you're constantly working up like to that top score. On top of the fact that there's kind of a completionist aspect that went with hitting 50, right? You don't have like, I guess 1 through 200 is like only 200 people at a specific period of time can be champions, right?
Yeah,
and then they reset it. But as opposed to like you hit 50, you have completed it. You are a champion. You are a great player. You have achieved a 50. Next playlist. Next playlist,
And it's not I think you can't lose it. You could still lose a 50.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe it has to do with the completionist aspect of it as well. The fact that this champion thing is always this like malleable state. It's always fluctuating. You don't know where you land. It resets itself. There's something rewarding about a 50, and also not to say that it's easier in any way, but more people can get 50s than people can sit in that champion threshold. So you get more people, being rewarded and feeling successful as a result of their grind. So maybe that's a big part of it too. So maybe we got some good insight here for 343. We're throwing it out there.
Maybe.
Now, I have a lot of stuff I can get into. I don't know how much time we have for this stuff. Of course, you competed in Reach as well. You had some solid performance there. I did some research on you on YouTube, and I found a 1v1 with you against APG where you just totally dunked on the guy. You got a perfection on him. We got a little bit of this in the background. And it also kind of expands into a topic about what you thought of Reach and whatnot. But what happened here? Was this your thing? 1v1s in Reach? Was that like your go-to?
So people don't know, I was a little 1v1 kid, especially in Reach. I would always play 1v1s, and I actually like Ninja was really big in 1v1s too, and like he was super into 1v1s. Like he would play them all the time. I think his game battles or whatever rank was like first and stuff. And one time before I got cool with him, I went into his stream and like challenged him to play me in a best of 3 1v1 and actually like beat him, I think 2-0. And because of that, I guess some of the other pros wanted to play me as well. Like I played Formal in 1v1s, I played APG and Ryan Noob and random players. But yeah, just going back to this game, it was just one of those games where everything went right for me that could have went right, and everything probably went wrong for APG because I mean, getting a perfection it's freaking tough, like you're bound to get 1 kill. So after I hit like the 7 or 8 kill mark, I definitely got really nerdy, and I was like, I'm gonna try to get a perfection here, and it worked out. And just to answer your question a little bit about Halo Reach as well, I I'll be honest. When I remember playing the beta for the first time in Halo, when Halo Reach released it, and instantly I at the time I did not have a good taste in my mouth from it. Like I instantly felt like it didn't feel like Halo. It felt kind of clunky. It felt kind of like out of character almost for the game. But I think as the settings moved forward, especially towards the end with no bloom, no sprint, that was a great game type or great settings for the game. But yeah, I have no reason to lie about it. I definitely did not enjoy it as much as I did with Halo 3. But it was still a game. It was still Halo, and I still had a lot, a lot of competitions ahead of me with all the tournaments lined up and everything. So I definitely grinded the game. Like you said, I had some good placings. I had some great achievements and accolades in the game, but it wasn't one of my favorites in terms of Halos. But a lot of people enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it as far as competition because it's still competitive Halo. But it's if we decide to move forward with Halo Reach in the future of Halo until Infinite comes out, I think it would be kind of refreshing to some people, but depending on what settings we play, it would be a very important conversation to be had, I think, because I think what we have with Halo 3 is great. And obviously I'm the 100% the most biased person to say that, but
Sure.
I do think that Halo 3 as a spectator sport, spectator video game is great. Like whenever it's a LAN tournament and you have good commentators and good matches, it's so hyped to watch a good Halo, like a good series in Halo 3.
Yeah.
So if it was my vote, I would keep Halo 3 going. And obviously we're still doing Halo 1 and Halo 5 tournaments too with at these events, but we'll see what happens in the future of Halo until Halo Infinite. But as far as this 1v1 goes, going back to the 1v1, yeah, it was just it was brutal, man.
Yeah, we're just watching you dump on APG in the background and just talking whatever. Basically, I like the discipline with the jetpack though. You're not really going for it too much. Like you just have it just to have it,
Yeah, I'll just do random jumps with it for sure.
Yeah. But as far as you were saying with Halo Reach and the settings, so one thing I know for sure is it is competitive settings, no bloom, no sprint. So you're going to get that out of the gate. Like there's going to be a playlist, hardcore playlist for that from day one. So you shouldn't have to worry about that because I believe that's already confirmed, announced.
Okay.
So does that make you a little bit more, I guess not necessarily excited, right, but looking forward to, like, it's refreshing, like you said. It's
Yeah. I do think it'll be refreshing, and regardless. But hearing you say that it is confirmed already about no bloom, no sprint, that definitely is a very positive news to me. Like I'm very happy to hear that because I think no bloom, no sprint played really well. So it will be refreshing, and I think it definitely will have potential to be something new and exciting.
Do you play any mouse and keyboard yourself, or are you gonna stick to the controller?
I dabble. Yeah, I've played.
You got a little, yeah.
I've played a fair share of CS:GO, Counter-Strike. I played a fair share of Fortnite on PC. I actually just recently bought like a pretty beast of a PC.
Sorry, we can switch out from this one. I think APG's had enough. 12 kills in.
So yeah, I've had I invested in a pretty good desktop recently, and because of that, I started playing some games on PC. Fortnite, Counter-Strike, but nothing too much and too vigorous. I'm good enough to kind of use it and get used to it, I think.
Are you worried about it at all if it becomes part of competitive? I mean, of course, we see success for players like Snipe Down and Apex, so it still seems like there's...
Yeah, I think for players that are so advanced in the way to think about movement and how Halo works, I don't think there'll be... It's going to be a big change, probably one of the biggest changes that pros have had to adjust to if it does go to mouse and keyboard.
Right.
Which again, we really have no idea of what it's going to be. But in this alternate world where it is the reality, I think all the pros and all the players that can do it, whether they want to plug in a controller to the PC, I don't think it would be that huge of a detriment just because Halo is more about your movement and your decision making as compared to your shot. Right. So I still think
strategy as well. It's very team based,
communication and all that kind of stuff. So I still think the top players would be the top, but I'm sure there would be some new faces. Yeah, I think so too. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting. A big change, something we haven't seen for Halo, but also exciting too. It brings in a new community, so gets the conversation going. You also mentioned Ninja as well. He's a big Halo Reach 1v1 kid, but you competed with him in Halo 4 and you won your first championship with Ninja. Did you guys get really close? You guys were playing doubles together as well. I saw that on YouTube, and I've got that clip that we can show. Tell me a bit about your time with Ninja. Did you know this man was going to explode at the time? Like, tell me a bit about your relationship. Yeah, me and Ninja are definitely. I mean, we don't talk like on a day-to-day basis, but but we're definitely very good friends, and we were really close when we teamed, and I think we still are very close. Obviously, life has been different for each of us, so we've been doing our own things. But and then to answer your question, as far as if I knew he was gonna be a freaking mogul celebrity, I definitely no one could have guessed that. But man, if anybody deserved it, he deserved it, just because I still remember to this day, and first of all, he put in the time, he put in the work, he put in the effort, right? So he deserved it in that sense. But secondly, just because I still remember, man, like even when I was teaming with him, and before I was teaming with him, but I was still friends with him, like pro players and just the community would give him a hard time sometimes, and kind of just, I don't want to say hate on him, because he would just be so big. Like his stream would always be with the one pulling numbers, but at tournaments he wouldn't be necessarily winning them. So people would kind of like low key hate on the guy. I just think it's kind of funny / interesting that now that he's like blown up and he's like everyone's favorite person, that the same people that hate you when you're down, they'll love you when you're on top.
Right,
so.
right. But got money now, he's got power.
Yeah, but he's a great guy, and if anybody deserved it, he did, because he's genuine and he puts in the work. So I'm happy for him.
Yeah. So do you think he's coming back? What do you think?
Okay, so this is I think 100% when Halo Infinite comes out, he will be playing Halo Infinite, and he's going to stream it, and it's going to be I think that's 100%. But as far as if your question is he going to come back to compete in the game? I don't think so. I don't think he's going to
Halo Reach even playing that on the side, because he's got the whole partnership with Microsoft. Now he's on Mixer.
Yeah, and if did you watch it when he released his like Mixer announcement? There was like a little Master Chief head.
I know, right? There's teases everywhere.
Yeah. So I do think
I'm going back to my roots. Like, come on.
Yeah, I do think there's something there, and there's something gonna happen. But who knows as far as going to tournaments and stuff? He's already has so many different lanes to worry about in terms of his business life. But he's definitely, I think he's gonna show love to Halo Infinite, and he's gonna, or Halo Reach or whatever, he's gonna promote it. Yeah.
Yeah. We don't really even need him competing. Just his presence there is huge. He can cast. I've seen Ninja casting Fortnite before. He could jump in on the analyst desk or do something. Like his personality being there it'll make Halo blow up in a way that needs to. So that's always exciting as well. So yeah, you've had a hell of a road there. You said Halo 5 things kind of changed for you. I remember at the beginning of Halo 5, you were like popping off on your live stream. From what I remember you being like pretty big. You're getting like
I choked, honestly,
200 viewers or something, and then you didn't quite, like you kind of, I don't want to say you disappeared, but I don't know where Goofy went. And then Goofy comes back for Halo 3, and all of a sudden you're like a legend again. So maybe fill in the gaps. You said there was like school and life and stuff, and you don't have to get personal if anything's personal.
I mean, hindsight is always 20/20. If I could have gone back and continued, like I was making YouTube videos, I was like making vlogs, I was streaming, I was doing all this stuff, and I was kind of ahead of the curve a little bit, because not a lot of people were doing it at the time, and I don't know, I definitely kicked myself for not being consistent with it, and just like anything in life, if you got to learn your lesson, you got to learn from your mistakes, and I do consider it a mistake that I did not continue down that path of content creation and streaming and stuff. But again, like hindsight is always 20/20, right? So all I can do now is learn from it and hope to kind of be disciplined, like we were talking about before, and just use the platform that I have to kind of expand my opportunities.
Yeah. So, which is the best way to look at it, I think. Did you like Halo 5 at the time? Because that's a big part of it too. You shouldn't grind through something that's not like you're not ultimately passionate about. I'm sure you had a lot going on to kind of decide where you wanted to go and whatnot.
Yeah, Halo 5 was, in the beginning, it was a little questionable with Breakout and all these game type stuff. But as far as how much money was on the line, and there was a lot of competition as well, I definitely enjoyed it. But I mean, I'll be quite frank, I definitely wasn't one of the top players at the in the game. I do think I was very skilled, and I was good enough to make runs in tournaments when it mattered, and I did a couple of times in different LAN events for Halo 5. But I definitely I cheated the grind a little bit. I didn't put in my full effort in terms of practicing, in terms of getting better, in terms of watching other pro players streams and seeing what they do, which I did a lot for like Halo 3 and Halo Reach. So the proof is right there, and the evidence is for why that level of success or whatever it wasn't there is also evident to me. So but yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a fun game. Not as I'm just not a big advocate for all these abilities in competitive Halo. I think Halo is a very for me again, and I am biased, and I'm probably seeing it from only one lens, whatever. But
Yeah.
I think Halo is a game that is at its optimal when it's it's like classic style Halo, where you don't have sprint, you don't have thruster and jetpacks. Your movement dictates how your gameplay is going to be and your shot. I don't know. I can get into this conversation for hours, but I'm a big advocate for Halo sticking to its roots and being classic gameplay. I think that's the best viewer experience too.
Yeah, I think and the argument goes on and on and on. I think Halo 5 has just kind of changed the formula. I don't like the camp where it's like worse or better. I feel like what's worse or better at this point is very subjective. But it's very obvious that it changed the formula of the game. It's a game that now movement mechanics are very important. They're very valuable. You have to be very good at them. Whereas back in classic Halo, shooting was the main aspect. Yes, you have movement. You have very advanced movement routes and whatnot. But it was
teamwork and stuff.
And teamwork and landing your shot. The big thing with Halo 3, and I'm trying to work on a video in the background, but there's a strategic pacing to Halo 3 that is not really present in Halo 5 because of the abilities that you have give you this aggro option where you can fly at your opponents. And the thing about that, like Shotzi, that's the thing is the aggro option. It's not the only thing you have to do. You can do the classic stuff, but when you're a player like Shotzi, when you're on Splice and you're incredibly talented, you got amazing reaction speed, you got a crazy shot, whatever, you choose the aggro option 9 times out of 10. So you just get 4 coordinated players who fly and fly and fly and fly. And then the typical strategic pacing of classic Halo, where positioning is important and working with your team strategically. And like the basic scenario that I thought of was like, and I've said this over and over again now, let's say you're in Green Hall in the pit and you're firing shots into a player on the opposite side of Green Hall. He backs down, you're winning that fight, but he backs down, tosses a nade against the wall to stop your approach. Depending on the scenario, like he shouldn't be throwing that nade if you can get past it. But let's say he throws that nade, you can't jump over it, right? Like that's the one classic Halo thing where like you can't challenge that nade. Even if you're winning that fight, you'll take too much damage. You might die. Instead, it becomes strategic pacing. You wait there. You hold your reticle. You throw your own nades. You coordinate something with your teammates, whatever it is. In Halo 5, you jump over that nade. You can sprint, slide jump over that nade. You can thrust back to get back to safety. So it's not to say that those abilities aren't difficult to do because there's plenty of nuance and there's talent and everything that goes into it.
Exactly.
But
it's another kind of skill. For sure. It's another kind of skill. And you can almost call Halo 5 like its own game. It's almost not. And again, I don't want to push anybody's buttons or anything because I respect and I appreciate all these players that have freaking made so much money and been so successful in Halo 5, but it's almost like a different game. And the example that you use, the scenario that you use to describe the difference, I think is very, very true. And it's a great way to explain the differences. But yeah, I mean, to each their own. I am confident and just like we spoke about in the beginning of this interview was I am hopeful and I am optimistic about the future of Halo with so much potential there, such a great community, such a great foundation. Like everyone knows Halo, right? Everyone knows that Master Chief, everyone knows the story. I just think it's a matter of time, and I think that time is approaching sooner than a lot of people expect.
Yeah, I completely agree there. I think that's the best mindset to have. Just as far as, I guess, the reasoning behind looking at the games that way, though, is I think that the best thing that we can try to do is somehow create this culture of respect between both communities, right? Like having modern Halo fans respect what makes classic Halo, classic Halo, like why it's so special. Whereas classic Halo fans also recognizing and respecting that Halo 5 is its own thing and it's special in its own right. It's created a whole community of people that are passionate about it. And you can't just ignore that as well. So how do you make another Halo game in the future that takes into consideration both of these populations, makes maybe something that's the best middle ground or something that has everything for everyone, whatever it is? That's what 343 kind of has to think about. It's just important that I think we're basically like two communities, just kind of respecting each other and the Halos, just understanding why we love them the way that we do and appreciating that. And we can create something, powerful going forward. We can stay together instead of fighting amongst each other, which is the big thing.
For sure. I completely agree with that.
Yeah. So let's actually get into this event, though, which was kind of the main topic beforehand, because Halo 3 comes back. You're playing Halo 3 now. You're amazing at Halo 3 now. You're back on the grind. Tell me a bit about how that's been playing Halo 3 and then coming together with Lux and just having this crazy, just like out of nowhere. It seems like you guys came out of nowhere and just dominated. How do you go from, getting back into Halo 3 and then forming this team and being so dominant?
Yeah, so to answer the first part of your question, I'm a huge fan. Wow, look at those Yeezys. No, I'm joking. I'm a huge fan.
Check it out. This is the squad right here. Tony and I were saying Ryan Noob needed to get a better shirt, though, because all you guys are balling, and then Ryan Noob's just got this V.
Man, that's Ryan Noob. We just let him be Ryan Noob.
Like, look at
No.
you guys looking. Anyway.
This is badass. No.
Yeah.
I actually want this video. I'm gonna request it later. But
Tony can do it too.
I'm a huge fan of Halo 3. When it was announced that it's gonna be played on the all these grassroots tournaments, and there's actually gonna be significant prize pools, and it's gonna be official an official series of tournaments, I got really excited, and I hit up some of my Halo friends, like Gab and Ryan Noob, and this is before all the tournaments even started, and I just started grinding the game again. Recently, like I told you, I've been streaming a lot, so that's been very fun and exciting. And as far as how this team formed, after the last tournament, myself and Ryan Noob were on the team with Cloud and Commonly. We didn't do as well as we wanted. We ended up getting like fifth or sixth, like top six, fifth, sixth place.
Like Sage Esports?
And yeah, with Sage Esports. And after that tournament, there was the Red Bull 2v2. So I was actually supposed to go with Ryan Noob initially, but he wasn't sure if he was going to be able to go. So I ended up going with, and again, like Cloud, no disrespect to Cloud, because he's an extremely talented Halo 3 player and he's a national champ. So I was excited and really happy to go with Cloud. So I went with Cloud. Ryan Noob went with Commonly, so it was still our Sage roster, but 2 and 2.
Sure.
And we didn't do as well as we hoped, and Ryan Noob and Commonly did a little bit better. But pretty much after that Red Bull 2v2, I spoke with Ryan, and we both agreed that we needed a change and we needed to kind of do something different. And again, I won't get into too many details, but long story short, we contacted Gilkey, we contacted Gab. And we put this squad together, and instantly we all got along really well. We all respect each other as people and as players, and we just have our gameplay and our style of play complements each other. So I've always been that kind of player in Halo 3, especially where I'm all about the win and I'm all about efficient play, efficient gameplay. So.
Right.
That's why I love playing with Ryan Noob. That's why I feel like I've always been successful with him, because we kind of understand that on like a subconscious level almost. So it's almost like unsaid teamwork with him. And same with Gabby and Gilkey. And when we showed up to the tournament and we were hot the whole weekend. Like even in our warm-ups,
Seriously.
Yeah, even in our warm-up before the tournament started, we played against like Trippy and Penguins team, and we were just on fire. And we started our pool play. We beat gold members in pools 3-0, and we got first in our pool, which set us up wonderfully. And we beat our Aspire, I believe, was after that for the winners bracket finals spot.
Yeah.
No, we beat Ace and Demon D's team in the winners bracket, and then we beat Aspire.
Yeah,
Mantra, and then we beat Aspire, and then we were in the winners bracket finals where we matched against gold members again. And this time it was a harder series. We were up 2-1 going into game 4 on Slot Flag, and we were up like 4-0 or 4-1 on gold members. And if we win that series, we secure a spot in the grand finals. And freaking sure enough, they come back and they win game 4. And I was obviously
Onslaught Flag they're good at, though. They beat you guys in the grands in Onslaught as well.
Yeah,
I think they 5-0'd you guys.
Yeah.
So what do you think it was?
So the second time around, it was a bad game. The first time around, we had control of that game. We just blew it.
Right.
So yeah, we choked game 4, and then going into game 5, Amp Slayer, we just dapped each other up, and we said, hey, we know what to do. Let's play our game, have good comms.
Was that the game where Ryan Noob just went wild? Like
I was gonna get into that. So, Ryan Noob 1000% popped off that game. Freaking dropped 24 kills and like 9 deaths or something. So he had a great game, and we secured our spot to the grand finals. And then we just see Talk Gaming, fighting their way through loser bracket, beat this team, beat that team, beat this team, beat that team, and then they're in the losers bracket finals, and they match up against gold members. And unfortunately, we were really, really hoping to get a shot at playing Talks, just because we. You touched on it. You want to play Talks, and you want to. I was
talking to Gilkey. Gilkey's like, it doesn't feel like a win unless we play Talks. Is what he was saying. Which is still a win, but like.
Yeah, I refute that. They had to get there to play us. It's not,
exactly.
It's not
exactly.
So
it's still you won that tournament definitively. Like there's nothing.
But a little bit I do agree. Like you want to play that team, right? So we were in I think we were in our hotel room, because the way the venue was set up, like your hotels are right here, the venue's right here, right? So after our winners bracket finals, we went up to our room and we were kind of chilling, and we were watching the losers the losers finals, and gold members were on fire. They took out Talks, and then we got in the zone again. We talked as a team, and we went into that grand finals knowing that it was it had potential to be a long series. So one thing that we were all saying to each other and was just, hey, treat it as a marathon. It's not a sprint. We don't want to burn ourselves out in the first few games. We want to make sure like we're playing calm and collective throughout the whole series.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it went to game 7. And
that was a very scary swing. Tony, if you feel free to show some in the background there, but you guys win the first 2 and then they win 3 in a row. And then you have to make your comeback. Like, that's got to be a little frightening.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, what's that like? And this is actually the very end here. This is reminiscent of Warriors, dude. I was watching this and I'm
Give
like,
me the snipe on an
shit.
elimination game,
I know.
right?
You're right back at it. It's like Sniper on Pit. This is literally like you jump back to 2010.
Yeah. That was a sick series of. I wish I hit that double on Ola, but
that was sick.
But yeah. So we made it to the grand finals, and like you said, we won the first 2 games. We were feeling great, and then Gold Members wins that Guardian ball game 3. Even though it felt like a very close back and forth game, they ended up clutching it out towards the end and won that game. They won game 4, which was game 4. Was game 4 the Onslaught or was game 5 Onslaught?
Wait, I got the actual series layout right here. So game 4 was Onslaught, and then 5 was Heretic.
Yeah, so we lost a close game 3, and we're up 2-1. Then we get blown out game 4, and we're tied 2-2. And then we lose the Heretic, and we're down 3-2. And and still like
and
we
Narrows
know.
and Gilkey goes. Or no, not Narrows. It was
Narrows flag.
Was it Narrows flag? Yeah, and then Gilkey goes off, right?
Yeah. So we kept telling each other that it was a long series, regardless of obviously we're trying to win the series right then and there, but we're just trying to make sure everyone's on the same page. And we win game 2 in a great way to win a game 6, because we weren't going crazy and trying to get flag caps. We played it very meticulously and we played it very smart, and obviously Gilkey was popping off, so that helped. And we pushed it to that game 7, and when it's a game 7 Team Slayer Halo 3 and you have eight players that know how to play the game, it's gonna be and either team could have won that game. I'll put it that way, right?
Sure.
So some chips just fell our way, which allowed us to, and we took all the opportunities that were presented. We made the pushes that needed to be made, and yeah, we just came out with victorious. And just to keep it short and sweet, I was extremely proud of the way everybody played that weekend. Extremely happy, and I was just confident with every series we went into, and I couldn't be happier with how everything panned out, and to win with those group of guys. It was a great weekend.
Yeah, very deserved. I think you guys kind of shocked the world a little bit as well, because being on the analyst desk and just looking at the teams and seeing you guys be so dominant was incredible. But at the same time, we were all thinking, like, who's going to run out of steam? Who's going to make it to Sunday and still play this well? Like, Fatal Ambition was one of those teams that was way up there in the top in the beginning. Where we're like, oh, they're looking like they could win this as well. But then they kind of totally lost steam by Sunday, which is what you expect with these newer rosters. Like, they can't hold it together. But Lux did not falter for a second. You guys just got better and better. It was wild to watch. So you've created a whole new timeline for competitive Halo here. Hopefully you guys stay together. And we don't know what the future brings as far as competitive Halo, but hopefully we get like a DreamHack Atlanta or something. We can see a little bit more of this play out.
Hell yeah, man. I definitely agree. And I thank you for the kind words. Like I said, I made a tweet after the tournament that victory and that event just meant so much to me, just because, and obviously, like, we're not oblivious to the fact that it is, I still think everyone's at their peak in terms of skill in Halo 3, and all these teams that were put together, and especially with Tox included, they all were thinking they were going to win. So at the end of the day, it was a very competitive tournament.
Yeah.
And for that reason alone, and just because Halo 3 is where I started, and it kind of went full circle, and for me and my team to kind of win this event the way we did, and to show the dominance almost, and the resilience that even when we were down in the series or down in a game, we would always just keep our head on straight and do what we talked about. And it was just very meaningful for me.
Yeah. And I remember you were talking about forming the team and, having good chemistry with everybody. You and Ryan Noob, I know you guys go way back. So you guys are kind of like a duo, right? You won the Halo 4 championship together as well. I believe you played with Gabriel previously. Was Gilkey? Is this like a first time having Gilkey on the squad too?
So this is the first time anybody on my team has teamed with Gilkey.
Okay, there you go.
I've never teamed with him. Ryan Noob had never teamed with him, and Gab had never teamed with him. So we picked him up as well, and just knowing that what kind of player he is and what he brings to the table, and we were definitely right with our decision. Yeah.
Man, just incredible performance overall. I know I've taken a ton of your time at this point. It's been like at least an hour with you here. I do want to keep talking to you, but I know the chat has a couple questions for you as well. So I'd like to see what the chat's up to. And let's get some of these questions here. We got Big John S117 says, Goofy, is Ryan the nerdiest player you've ever teamed with?
Short answer, yes.
How so?
It's Ryan Noob, man.
It's Ryan. Yeah, I know.
There's a video on YouTube somewhere or somewhere on the internet where Ryan Noob spawns in a 4v4. They're scrimming, right? So Ryan Noob's team was scrimming against somebody else's team. I don't know. And he literally, it was on Halo Reach. Yeah, it was Halo Reach. He literally spawns in a base and grenades himself and kills himself. And then because of that, he spawns opposite and his team spawns with him and they like break the setup and they take control. So that's a short example of how nerdy that kid is. So yeah, he's definitely the nerdiest player I've ever played with.
Oh my god! I actually remember talking to him about that play, which is crazy. I also remember the beginning of Halo 5 when they were showing like YouTube content and stuff, and they had a video from Ryan Noob where he would talk about how you could get through the Promethean nade or whatever. Like,
yeah. I remember
trying
that.
to crouch his way through, but you could get a play off of that if you're if you're smart. So Ryan Noob, still the nerdiest player. Rami says, "Goofy, who's your favorite teammate and why is it Rami?"
Who's my favorite teammate? This is a tough question. I actually get asked this question on my stream pretty often too, and I never have a for sure answer. If I had to pick one, I think I would say Legit. Team with Legit for quite a while. There's a span where me and him were on a team for like over close to 2 years almost. We were just teaming with each other, and just as a person, he's a great guy. I wish he was still around the community. I know he's.
Do you have any idea what happened to Legit? I don't know too much.
Real life stuff. Like his girlfriend and him. I think they got a little more serious, and he started working, and he just started transitioning into some other, which is understandable because
right.
But yeah, so I would say Legit as a player, he was extremely obviously well respected and a beast. And as a friend, he's a great guy. So I would probably say Legit.
Right, and not Rami, I guess.
Rami's number 2.
Rami's number 2. Okay. Thank you, Rami, for the question. Ryan in the chat says, do you remember feeling nervous or scared during any of our series? And I guess if so, he's gonna, I don't know, he's gonna call you a wuss or something. He's gonna call you out on it.
To be honest, no, not at all.
Perfect.
There was not a single series or a single game going into it. I was nervous. Super confident with everybody on my team and super confident with myself. So I did not feel nervous in any game.
Right. And at that point, you've got a ton of experience under your belt. You've been there before. And this is your chance to really take it all. So good that you're able to kind of confront it with confidence. And I mean, you guys had every reason to. It was crazy that you didn't lose a series. So
yeah. Sometimes you just gotta let the world know.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Nah, I mean, whatever, live it up. You enjoy your victory.
Yeah, you know how you know the world we live in, man. Everyone.
Yeah,
gotta walk on eggshells.
Yeah, just don't do what. Oh no, I don't want to say it out loud. I'm gonna call
Let's just save ourselves, all right? Let's just save.
Let's save ourselves. All right. We'll keep it there. Dordo says also thoughts on what grassroots can do to further with 343 and Microsoft help to grow comp Halo. What? So
I'll
basically,
answer that question in a way I think he meant to ask. So I think he meant like, how can grassroots help Halo moving forward?
Yeah, I guess maybe a new idea for them or something to help competitive Halo.
Yeah, I don't know about a new idea right off the top of my head, but as far as what it's doing for Halo in the interim and in the time being, I think it's a great concept and a great thing that's happening in the community. It's allowing players who are very dedicated to Halo, even after it's in this lull right now. It's kind of rewarding them and showing them that, hey, we're going to invest in you guys and kind of let you build your own thing here. It really gives them an opportunity that they wouldn't have otherwise. So I think grassroots and what they're doing is unique, and I think it is very helpful for the community moving forward. And again, I think the people that know kind of understand the fact that we're kind of trying to fill in the gaps, right? We're trying to fill in the empty space that we have until we get Halo Infinite, or until we get a beta at least. So I think with the hand that we are dealt, I do think we're making the most of it.
Right, I think so too. I'm curious to see how grassroots transitions when the future games come out and way more people start playing. You have content creators with maybe over 1 million followers that switch their focus to Halo, let's say, and then all these small guys are getting the spotlight. It's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out, but I do think they're doing great things for the community, especially in the interim, like you said. MattyRums says, was there a moment where you guys, Lux, knew you're going to win the tournament?
I guess to get very specific, because it's the truth, is in that game 7, for me at least, I can't speak to the rest of the team, But in that game 7, it was like neck and neck, neck and neck, neck and neck.
Yep.
And then there was a point in the game, I think we saw it in that clip, where when I got Sniper and I sniped Frosty their S1, and then while I'm getting Sniper and kind of setting myself up on bridge, my team is like pushing down green and pushing out long haul. So they're getting kills over there. I'm sniping players their S1. I jump on bridge. I snipe Eco with like that crazy no scope. And in that sequence, like you see, it's 34-33.
Hey, there you go.
And now it's 36-33. Like just like that.
Yeah.
We build that bridge. And the game kind of at the end of this whole sequence, we're up by like 6 kills. So I do remember thinking in this particular situation, especially after the snipe, he tried.
This was nuts, dude.
I was like, oh my, we're winning. And then I see Gab gets another kill, so it's 40-34. It was just 34-33. So this is the exact moment where I knew. I was like, okay, this is our freaking game.
Yeah, and you get the last OS too. I feel like
we get the last 2
seals
OSs,
it.
honestly.
You get the last 2, yeah.
Because Gilkey gets it with rockets, and he
Rockets.
just burns it, yeah. And then I get it with at the end, and I start pushing, and then we win the game. But
yeah, where it was like definitively over. But those snipes definitely would probably seal it out in your head. You'd be like,
man,
damn,
those
it's
are
done,
crazy.
man. If you hit that shot on Ola, you'd be like, put your controller down, dude.
I actually hit 2 more crazy snipes after that no scope, because I died. I died and somebody picked up my snipe, but then I spawned and picked up a new one, and I got like 2 more headshots. But the stream wasn't on me, so we didn't see him. But
yeah. Yoki was pretty lasered too. You guys were all playing, like firing all cylinders for sure. Wilm says, "Is Goofy streaming tonight? You still doing the stream grind tonight?"
I will be streaming tonight. You can catch me on twitch.tv/Goofy.
What time?
So typically, I'll make it very short. But typically, since like I mentioned before, I do work full time, so the way I manage my time has to be very particular.
Right.
So every single weekday, Monday through Friday, I stream like 7 p.m. Central until like 9 or 9:30 p.m. Central. All right.
Okay.
So and it can fluctuate a little bit. So maybe instead of 7:30, but I always try to hit the 2-hour mark at least. So on the weekdays, you can catch my stream at twitch.tv/Goofy around 7 or 7:30 p.m. Central time. And on the weekends, I need to have a set schedule, but on the weekends, it's just an open window of time. So I'll stream for a lot longer at different windows, different time zones. So, but yeah, tonight you can catch me at my stream. Probably right after this, I might get some food, but for my normal schedule, it is around 7 or 7:30 p.m. Central.
Right, because I was also thinking, if you want, I don't want to rush you or anything, but we could always just host you immediately after this and just send the viewers over. If you want to do that, I'm not sure how many people are tuning in right now, but we can do that. If you don't need to go run and grab food or anything, we can talk to you about that afterwards, maybe. But we would be happy to send you that host, so you guys can check out Goofy's gameplay, which is definitely worth your time. Last question though, we got It's the Valkyrie says, as a player aspiring to be a pro, any tips to discipline one's sense? Or I guess you kind of get the gist of what he's saying there.
Yeah. So again, this is another question that I have been asked. Multiple times, and the best answer I could give is just put in the time and put in the work. Like if you know that a certain part of your game is lacking, you gotta really focus on that. If that's your shot, you gotta practice your shot. If it's your communication, you gotta practice communication. If it's your decision making, you gotta practice your decision making. It's all about and I'm not gonna lie to you, there's so many factors that go into really becoming a pro player, and one of the biggest factors is luck or opportunity. Like you have to have the skill, and you have to be at the right place at the right time. And then you could say that about any successful person in life, really. It's all about being fortunate enough to have that opportunity, right? So all you can do on your end that you can control is practicing and preparing as best as you can.
Yeah, I think that's actually a great way to look at it, putting in the time and thinking about what specifically you do that needs to be worked on, and then, working on those separately one at a time instead of just trying to do, let's say, everything at once. And also maybe watching gameplay would be a huge thing to do. Like you said,
and watching
is huge. Yeah. All right. Well, that covers all the questions we have. Goofy, thank you so much for joining me on today's broadcast. And I guess as far as like the near future, we don't know what's happening with events and stuff. But for you, kind of, do you have any like upcoming goals or anything you want to accomplish with Halo in the near future?
Well, I'm definitely going to keep going down the lane of this commentary stuff that I've been doing with Blame Gaming. So make sure you check out their preliminary tournaments. Again, like I said, one is coming up here in about 8 days. September 24th is the Blame Gaming final preliminary tournament. And then the grand finals is October 20th, I believe. That's going to be for $1,000. So I want to continue kind of practicing that skill set of commentary and then seeing how or where I can end up with it. And just my streaming stuff too. I want to be consistent. I want to keep on streaming, keep on building my my community, and just kind of look for ways to improve in that sense. And I hope to achieve that.
Awesome. Yeah. And I mean, thank you so much for joining me, man. Hopefully I get a chance to chat with you and maybe do some commentary with you with Bland Gaming in the future as well. I love the grind, man. I respect the discipline that you're putting in, and just hopefully, Halo comes back, it pops off, and we can all succeed as a result. We're all kind of just here grinding in the meantime, waiting for it to happen.
That's all we can do, baby. It's all
optimistic mindset is all we can do, and just keep working hard. So I like it, man. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
All right, that'll close today's show. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. And of course, some of you are here waiting for your Grassroots giveaway. If you type !Grassroots in the chat, you have a chance to win a BR skin and nameplate. Let's find out who the winner is. Tony's going to send it to me in Discord. Who we got, Tony? I can only do this so well. There we go. Donald Duck Live wins the BR skin and nameplate. Donald Duck Live, congratulations, Ben. Enjoy your goodies. Tony or somebody from UGC, I assume, will send that over to you so you can enjoy that. That will close today's show. Remember, we also have merch. Feel free to check out the merch here. Anything that you purchase here not only supports the show, it supports me as well. And as always, I would highly appreciate that, guys. Thank you once again for joining us on HCS Weekly. Make sure to tune in next week. We'll be back at the same time, twitch.tv/UGC.